Who have Shakur? What have Shakur done? What have he done in the sport? He haven't done nothing. The young one is looking more better than him.
The only person I can really give salute to is Shakur because he grew up with us. You know, that's why I get on Shakur. You know, sometimes he changes his media, try to be that tough guy, big dad. Let's keep it real. We grew up together. Me and your grandfather, we cool.
Bro, that was a little kid. I'm gonna like be honest with you. Like, I seen him fight his last fight. He was tired in that 12 round.
Gervonta Tank Davis snaps on Shakur Stevenson. Emotional outburst over coach Calvin Ford sparks boxing's most personal feud yet. Gervonta Tank Davis has finally had enough, and this time, it's personal. In a fiery social media tirade that sent shockwaves through the boxing world, Tank launched a blistering attack on fellow lightweight star Shakur Stevenson. The trigger: allegations that Shakur had disrespected Tank's longtime mentor and father figure, coach Calvin Ford. What has Shakur really done in this sport? Nothing. These young ones look better than him. The only reason I even acknowledge him is because we grew up together.
I keep telling y'all, he say he's the king, and this vicious right here. I ain't never seen a king hold his kingdom down when you have a vicious crew come through. We coming through. You hear what I say? We vicious. We ain't just boxing. We doing this. Be prepared. Stop playing with my youngin'. Stop playing with my youngin'.
But sometimes, he tries to act tough like he's that guy. He knows the truth. We go way back. I was just a kid back then, and I know who he really is. Gervonta Davis. The bond between Tank and coach Calvin Ford. This isn't just about boxing. Tank and coach Calvin go deeper than athlete and trainer. Ford met a 7-year-old Gervonta at Upton Boxing Gym in Baltimore. Having just completed a 10-year prison sentence himself, Ford dedicated his life to mentoring young boys from the streets, and Tank was his prized pupil. I used to sleep at Coach Calvin's house. When he...
You know, Calvin, he been with me since I was 7. I used to sleep in Coach Calvin's house. I used to sleep at his job when he was working at a seafood restaurant in Baltimore.
When I had to train Tank, when I didn't want him to get in trouble and I wanted to make sure we was together, I used to take him to work with me. And he'd chill. Everybody know him. Everybody know him at work.
Remember, Calvin used to fuss at the guys that was coming up with me, and they was in the streets a lot. He was telling them, like, you can't have 1 foot in and 1 foot out. You gotta be, like, all the way in it, like, focus on the goal, you know, and them guys, they went left, and unfortunately, they got killed.
You weigh the odds out like that. Do you want him to go to jail or you want him to live? That's the whole idea, to come to the boxing gym.
If I ain't had the people I had around me, like the people that started with me and things like that, I probably would have been off the scene for a long time.
He worked at a seafood restaurant. I'd sleep there too. He took me to work so I wouldn't get in trouble. He kept me alive. Guys who were with me in the streets, they're gone. Killed. Coach saved me. Davis. Ford wasn't just training Davis.
Tank was the first one in the gym, the last one out the gym. Tank used to sit on the ring like this and watch me train him.
How old is he at this point?
He was like 7, 8.
Okay.
A lot of stuff that I was giving my son was giving it to Tank. So it was a perfect fit. Tank was like the family, you know what I'm saying? And he used to sit at the table because I had another kid named Ramon Manning. He liked to play with them guns, you know what I'm saying? And when I lost him, I was hurt because that was my first time losing a fighter that you put so much into. Remember, I said, Tank, my money running out. And he just looked at me and said, believe in me, coach. Believe. That's what did it.
When he said that, that's...
It's still...
Damn.
I don't hear Tank as the day. I hear Tank as that little boy. Believe in me, coach. And he came in the gym one day and he said, Coach, I seen it. I said, what you seen? I had all the belts on me. He said, I'm gonna be that dude. The rest is history.
Damn, I got goosebumps low key. That's kind of crazy.
Davis physically, he gave him guidance, shelter, and discipline. His coaching emphasized ring IQ, defense, footwork, and keeping both feet out of the streets. You can't have 1 foot in and 1 foot out. You got to be all the way in. I told the boys that. Some didn't listen. They ended up dead. That's why the gym matters. Calvin Ford. Legal trouble and professional separation. In early 2024, everything changed. Coach Calvin Ford was arrested in Nevada on serious charges involving assault with a deadly weapon.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So we have some very, very unfortunate news that has broken. Hopefully it proves not to be true. And that involves Gervonta Tank Davis, undefeated 3-division world champion, 5-time world champion, superstar boxer, who is widely acknowledged as the face of the sport of boxing, if not one of the faces. His longtime trainer, mentor, big brother, uncle, father figure, and Coach Calvin Ford. Now we know Coach Calvin Ford has been arrested recently. Over the past week, he has been arrested. And now more details are surfacing as he's still detained. And Coach Calvin is in some very hot water, according to these accusations, allegedly. So he's been detained, he's been arrested, and he's been in jail ever since. And you hear his partner, longtime partner, training partner, his assistant trainer, Coach Kenny Ellis, and his fighters, you know, they keep saying free Coach Calvin, so on and so forth. If you don't know the backstory and the history of Coach Calvin Ford, you look at the show The Wire, and he's one of the characters on The Wire that, you know, was in the streets, went to jail, got his life together, became a trainer in the sport of boxing, and, you know, opened up the boxing gym out there in Baltimore.
His arrest stunned the boxing community. While details remain murky, Davis was forced to make a tough decision. I've always respected Coach Calvin and what he's done for my career, but I need to focus on what's best for me and my team. Gervonta Davis. The separation led to speculation and concern, especially after Davis's underwhelming performance against Lamont Roach Jr. on March 1, 2025, at Barclays Center. The fight ended in a controversial majority draw, his first professional blemish. Davis unexpectedly took a voluntary knee in round 9 after a jab from Roach, a bizarre moment that led many to believe something was off.
Who do you want to see? You, as a guy that's in his trainer, that's like a father figure to him, you're training him all the time, you know him, both y'all from the streets of Baltimore the whole bit. Who do you want to see Tank fight next?
I want him to get all of them that ran their mouth.
Give me the names. I need names, Calvin. I need names.
You already know. We went down to, we working on the big 4. It was Garcia. That's the first one. Roma, I hope we get him soon. Shakur, he's going to get it. He know he's going to get it. It's just Bob is in charge of that. You know what I'm saying? Bob know what he's doing over there. You can't tell Bob how to run his game because he's like a vet at this. He's been doing it for so many years. That's going to happen. All the fights that we'll want, they have no choice. They're going to take the fight when it's time to take the fight. It's just right now, who's going to take the fight? That's the question.
Especially without Ford in his corner. Shakur Stevenson sparks a fire. Enter Shakur Stevenson. Alleged comments made by Shakur about Ford and the situation surrounding his arrest triggered a full-on emotional eruption from Davis. I keep telling y'all, he says he's the king. But when a vicious crew comes through, he disappears. We're not just boxing out here. We're really doing this. Stop playing with my young'uns. Tank Davis. Tank's words were clear. Disrespect Ford, and you're crossing a line that goes beyond boxing.
So breaking news, Tank Davis vs. Lamont Roach 2 is set for August 16th in Las Vegas. And this is a rematch of one of the most controversial fights in recent memory, where Roach arguably won 7 to 8 rounds of that fight, and then Tank took a voluntary knee in round 9, which wasn't ruled a knockdown, but ultimately it was scored a majority draw. Now in the rematch, I do expect Tank to look much better than he did in the first fight. I don't think that was his best performance by any means. And that means being more active in the early rounds, you know, not just staying on the ropes looking for counters. And I'm sure he'll be willing to exchange more with Roach this time around. You know, the left hands, the combinations, the body shots, that's where he had the most success in the first fight. And Roach, he just needs to stick to what made him so successful in the first fight. His forward pressure, staying behind that jab and right hand. But most importantly, he wasn't scared to take it at Tank, but he also didn't get too aggressive. You know, most of Tank's opponents, if they're scared of the power, they'll sit back on the ropes, get slowly broken down. Or if they end up getting too aggressive, they get caught with the counterpunch. But Roach, he was sharp that whole fight. You know, I would go Tank in the rematch. I think he has a lot more to show this time around. But Roach did prove to be a very tough test. But you guys let me know who you got.
The fight? Despite the tension, both fighters are undefeated and circling what could be the most anticipated showdown of 2025. Shakur Stevenson, a 3-division world champion with elite defensive skills, sees Tank as the biggest threat in the sport. And he's not backing down. I respect Tank. He's explosive, slick, dangerous. But I feel like if we both stay on our paths, that's going to be the biggest fight in boxing. It's going to be like LeBron versus Jordan. Shakur Stevenson. Tank, however, isn't convinced. He's not jumping in the ring with me. He knows it's different when it's me. He's talking, but I know him. I grew up with him. I know.
So, Rick Glazer is reporting that Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach sold 149,000 pay-per-view buys. And he tweeted this report at Turkey Ala Sheik. Coincidence? Truthful? Do you trust Rick Glazer's reporting on this issue? If you do, let me know why. If you don't, let me know why not. But you best believe I have a long video coming on this later today. Y'all be sure to check that out. We'll see y'all soon. Peace.
Know what's real. Davis. Tim Bradley. Shakur outboxes Tank easy. Former champion and analyst Tim Bradley isn't shy about his pick. He believes Stevenson's slick style, footwork, and ring IQ are tailor-made to neutralize Tank's power. Y'all can call me a hater, I don't care. Shakur beats Tank easy. He's cut from a different cloth. Tim Bradley. Bradley believes the fight is inevitable.
You know, Calvin, he been with me since I was 7. I used to sleep in Coach Calvin's house. I used to sleep at his job when he was working at a seafood restaurant in Baltimore.
When I had to train Tank, when I didn't want him to get in trouble and I wanted to make sure we was together, I used to take him to work with me. And he'd chill. Everybody know him. Everybody know him at work.
Remember, Calvin used to fuss at the guys that was coming up with me, and they was in the streets a lot. He was telling them, like, you can't have 1 feet in and 1 feet out. You gotta be, like, all the way in it. Like, focus on the goal, you know, and them guys, they went left, and unfortunately, they got killed.
You weigh the odds out like daggers. Do you want him to go to jail or you want him to live? That's the whole idea, to come to the boxing gym.
If I ain't had the people I had around me, like the people that started with me and things like that, I probably would have been off the scene for a long time.
And necessary for both men's legacy. Especially now that emotions are boiling over. Final thoughts, a battle beyond boxing. Whether or not Shakur crossed the line with his comments about Ford, one thing is clear, Tank took it to heart. And when it comes to family, Gervonta doesn't play. With both men undefeated, at the top of their division, and burning with pride, this fight has the makings of a true classic, not just for titles, but for legacy, respect, and redemption. Who do you think wins, the technician or the power puncher? Did Shakur go too far, or is Tank just being too emotional? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Please like and subscribe my YouTube channel.